Hello, good morning. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Vinny Motiwala. With me is Cheryl D'Souza as well. Cheryl, a very good morning to you. And today, Nifty, we did see a spike up coming in almost half an hour ago. 24,300 and managed to go to that level, managing to hold on to gains in terms of the markets, right?
Absolutely, it's turning out to be a good day for the markets, Vinny, and also all thanks to the commentary coming in from Bank of Japan Deputy Governor, who actually mentioned and categorically stated that they won't go ahead raising rates if the market is unstable. And post that commentary coming in from Bank of Japan Deputy Governor, you saw a sharp rally across the Asian markets. Even you had the US futures that turned positive post those commentaries on your screen, as you can see, where you have the BOJ Deputy Governor saying that they will not raise when the markets are unstable, and they personally believe the US economy can have a soft landing. They're saying there's no big change in the macros when it comes to Japan as US, and also the fact that the market reacted to that one single data, it was much more than that was needed. So that was a commentary that came in from Bank of Japan Deputy Governor. And post that, you saw the markets actually stabilize. You saw the Asian markets recover. You saw the Japanese markets actually rise as much as 4% on an intraday basis. You had Kospi also that saw a good uptick. The Nikkei right now is trading at around 2.8%. So good going for the Asian markets. And that has trickled in for the Indian markets as well, where we actually started on a very firm footing for the Indian markets. And like Vinny mentioned a short while ago, we surpassed that 24,300 mark, now holding on to those levels, there about those levels, near the day's highest point for the benchmark indices, with the advanced decline ratio very much tilted in the favor of the gainers. You have Nifty Bank that is seeing a tad bit of underperformance when you compare it to the benchmark indices, with broader markets holding pretty firm in trade today. Talking about the list of losers, then you only you have a handful of losers in trade today. About 7 stocks that are losing in trade, now only 6 stocks losing. And the top loser on the Nifty today is Eicher Motors, and that one is seeing cuts less than 1%. So we have 7 losers on the Nifty, all of them seeing cuts less than 1%. So good market breadth coming in right now. You have ONGC that is seeing a sharp up move, about 7%. Earnings plus brokerages are pretty positive on ONGC. You have Coal India, BPCL, Adani Ports, JSW Steel among the other set of gainers. I'll add to that list as well as Hindalco, which is seeing good gains about 2.7% or so. But talking about the sectoral indices is a very good screen when you talk about the sectoral indices, because all of them are seeing firm gains, with metal and oil and gas actually seeing a very sharp up move. You also have the realty stocks that you need to focus on. A lot of things actually developing on the realty front as well, Vinny, isn't it?
Absolutely, a lot that is developing on that front, and thanks to that amendment that we are watching out for in the finance bill coming in, and all those stocks, that's why buzzing in trade. But what we're watching out for also is VIP Industries as well as Safari Industries. Both these are buzzing in trade. Lupin, on the back of its numbers, is managing to hold on to its 52-week high level. Safari Industries also is at a 52-week high. We have United Spirits, GSK Pharma, Cadila, as well as Glenmark Healthcare, which is also trading at a 52-week high. Talking about some of the stocks in the 52-week low, not much candidate coming in that over there as well. But yes, I believe we do have our experts for today who are joining in as well. We have Lancelot Tukan, who is joining in with us right now. Lancelot, very good morning. Thank you so much for joining in with us on ET Now as always. And let's start with the first query with you, and this query is actually coming in from Satya. Also, just a disclaimer to the viewers, if you don't know, we'll be taking all your stock related queries in the next 1 hour, and you can send us all your stock related queries on the number that will be flashing on your screen shortly. So yes, keep an eye out and keep sending us those queries. But Lancelot, first query from Satya, Prestige Estates, the real estate side. Today, obviously, we are seeing that chop up coming in, expecting the changes coming in on the indexation side that came in. So yes, Prestige Estate, 1 to 2 years is the holding period. What can one be expecting? What is the target price that they should be watching out for?
So I think, Prestige Estate has done reasonably well in the last couple of months, and maybe over the last 6 months, we've done even better. Given that the outlook for real estate is improving, Prestige Estates has also moved operations. They've expanded operation. They're opening something in Bombay as well. They're setting up projects in Bombay as well. So you're seeing a good amount of growth coming in on the real estate front. Maybe now with some relief on the indexation part, you should see additional interest from investors in real estate as well, and that could help improve the orders as well as improve sales for real estate companies, including Prestige. While the business looks, our prospects are good, I think the valuations are a little bit, I wouldn't say stretched, but they are all the positives have already been factored into the price. So the immediate upside could be relatively muted. But if one is looking to hold it for a 2 to 3 year horizon, you can see reasonably good growth on this stock as well.
This next query also is coming for you, Lancelot. It's coming in from Bharatwaj. He's writing to us from Coimbatore and he wants to know whether it makes sense to buy Zomato at current market price. He's looking to hold on to this for the next 3 to 5 years. We saw a dip in the markets. Do you think that that dip was sufficient enough to buy Zomato at these levels for a period of about 3 to 5 years?
See, I think in as far as Zomato is concerned, clearly the food delivery business is now emerging as two major players, which is Zomato and Swiggy. But more importantly, Zomato is seeing more traction from Blinkit, which is the the instant or the short delivery for fresh foods, etc. However, while the growth potential is high, Zomato's valuations have factored in possibly the next 2 to 3 years growth at the current valuations. And in case there are some negative surprises, or if there's a, let's say, moderation of earnings going forward, you could see maybe some disappointment could lead to severe price correction. So while the long-term business prospects are good, the risk is also equally high, and one should take into account your risk and then decide whether one has to buy or not into the stock.
Okay. Let's also bring on board our second expert for today. We do have Raymond Kapadia also joining in with us. Raymond, very good morning and thank you so much for joining in with us. This query is coming in from a viewer from Coimbatore, Sasta Money, who's holding 570 shares of Sterling Tools at a price of 364 rupees. Raymond, the price is 413. Currently, the stock is trading at around somewhere 360 levels is what they're highlighting. So can they look to average this out or maybe just continue to hold, exit? What's the view on Sterling Tools?
Very good morning, Vinny. Thank you for having me on the show. Sterling Tools has been corrected for more than a year now. So frankly speaking, there is no trending bias. So after 1 year, we need a breakout above 440 or a breakdown below 305. So as of now, I would say continue to hold.
All right, this one is coming from Srinivas, who's writing to us from Dubai, and this one is also for you, Lancelot. He wants to know about Gland Pharma. He has 50 shares of Gland Pharma, purchased at levels of about 1,500 rupees per share. He wants to know whether it's good time to exit this one and look to invest into Dr. Reddy's for the longer term. He's making good set of profits. The numbers also are supportive of Gland Pharma. What's your take?
So Gland Pharma has been doing well. I mean, and even the past year results and the trends show that there is improvement in its financials, both in terms of sales as well as profits margins. And so if one is a long-term investor, then you can continue to hold Gland Pharma itself. And if you are looking at short-term flipping, then possibly, if you have made sufficient profit, you can look at cashing out. But from a long-term perspective, I think it's a hold.
Raymond, this query is coming in from Nikhil Sharma from Mumbai. They are an intraday trader, but they're holding 40 shares of ITC at a price of 489. Finally, the prices have, today touched that 495 around those levels. What should they do with this now in terms of ITC? Should they book profit or just hold on to it maybe for a longer term?
Okay, two things. If it's a long-term view, it's an unequivocal hold. If it's a shorter-term view, then it's a sell on bounce.
All right, this next query that I have is coming in from our viewer, wants to know about IOC. This one is coming from Chandrasekhar. He wants to know what's the outlook on IOC. Heyman, he wants to know whether he should buy or avoid, and if buy, what is the correct price? A very good morning to you, Heyman. What's the take on IOC?
The take on IOC is positive. We've been in a consolidation phase for 6-7 months. Once again, if the view is 9 months or more, it's a buy on declines. Markets are volatile, so I would suggest spread the purchases 171, 163, 155.
Okay, Surely keeping an IOC on those levels there. But this next query, Lancelot, is coming in on IRCT from Hamsa. Long-term investor, 470 shares of IRCTC. Their average price is 915 rupees per share. What should they be doing with this? Maybe look to add some more or continue to just hold?
So I think, the business prospects of IRCTs have been good because, with the increase in traffic and they are the sole agency for, rail bookings. They've added on new services in IRCTC so that they can optimize their investment on, software and infrastructure. So the longer term outlook is good. However, the price of the stock over the last 12 months or 24 months had really shot up considerably. And in terms of valuations, is still valued much above its fundamental value. It's purely on the basis that expectation is factoring in probably earnings for the next 2 to 3 years or already getting factored in the price. So given that background, one should probably wait for some significant correction in the price and then only look to average. Because while the long-term outlook looks good, you have to be careful about the buying or entry level pricing.
This next one is coming from Nitya, who's writing to us from Chennai. Heme, and she has 700 shares of Canara Bank, which she purchased at a level of 110 rupees per share, and about 600 shares of Bharat Electronics, BEL, that is, at a price of around 294. For the next 6 months, what's your outlook on these counters? Does it make sense to stay put or add some more of either of them in a portfolio?
Cheryl, I think she can add both on declines, but I would like to request the investor to extend the time frame from 6 months to 9 months or a year. Then the comfort levels are there that she'll be in the money.
Okay. That's 8 queries down. A lot more queries that we're going to be taking. 30 plus we took yesterday, so we're aiming to take a lot more. So keep sending us those queries, but we'll slip into a very short break and we'll be back with all your stock related queries.
Welcome back. You're watching bnsn on ET Now, a show where we get you answers for all of your stock-related queries. And we have Raymond on the technicals, as well as Lancelot Dikuna, who's joining us on the fundamentals. Let's continue taking your queries. We are down with 8 queries already on the show. The next query that I have is coming in from Amit, and he wants to know about Union Bank. Raymond. He has about 1900 shares, which he's purchased at the levels of 118 rupees per share. Wants to know whether he should stay put with Union Bank or look to exit his positions.
Once again, stay put if your holding period is minimum 9 months, but be prepared to see more pain before that.
Okay, Lancelot, this next query we have is from Swati. She's given a couple of stock names and wants to know which is the best one to invest in for a time period of 2 to 3 years. GMR Infra, Crompton Greaves Consumers, Keynes Technology, KPR Mills. Any two of the names, which one would you suggest then from this?
For investment for 2 years, I think Crompton Greaves would be one option that you can look at, because the entire industrial space is picking up, and you will see a significant orders and growth coming in for Crompton Greaves. And GMR Infra could be also another stock which has not really moved up much, but you could see significant growth coming in because of the trend on the tourism as well as on the infrastructure spending. And now most of the projects that they have implemented are in the state of completion. So we should be able to, they should be able to generate better returns on their investments thereafter.
This next query is coming from a very patient viewer, I must say. This one is from Raghavendra Rao. He's writing to us from Hyderabad. And he's got 10 shares of Trent, which he's purchased at the levels of 1,480 rupees per share. He has 100 shares of Electra Green that he's purchased at the levels of 558 rupees per share. I don't know if I can term it as a handsome set of profits that he's made in his counters, but spectacular profits in both of these counters, holding it patiently. Now what should his strategy be? Stay put with them or look to book our profits?
Spectacular profits, totally agree. I would suggest that if he needs the money, take something off the table. Sell only partially, hold on to the rest, because both good stocks, both in established longer term uptrend. So take some money home to book some profit, hold the rest.
coming in on Trent as well as Electra Green Tech. But let's move on. And we have Dr. Teja from Hyderabad, Lansdowne, who's holding shares of Ugro Capital at a price of 277 rupees per share. For the long term, what should they be doing with this? Should they continue to hold this, or maybe book out their losses? Because currently the stock is trading at 245.
So while their business model has been interesting, the stock has actually run up significantly over the last 1 year or so, and now is seeing some amount of pressure. I think given that interest rates are going to be rising, we are finding that banks are increasing their deposit rates because capital is needed in the banking system and in terms of deposits. So I think Ugro Capital will find that increasing interest rates will lead to the margins getting compromised, or they will be forced to take additional risk in terms of compromising on their lending qualities. So from a long-term perspective, I think one should look at either cashing out and looking at probably better, safer options with lower downside risk.
Rakesh is writing to us from Bangalore, and he wants to know about Tata Power. 500 shares at a price of 440 rupees per share. Hemant, time frame is 3 to 6 months. Should he stay put or look to exit this one? It's around his buy price.
Hold, but please extend the time frame if possible.
Okay, that's the view on Tata Power. Let's move on. And the next query is on PFC as well as Krishna Diagnostics, Lansdowne, for a time period of 1 to 2 years. Is it a good time to enter the stocks? The query is coming in from Chandran from Chennai.
So, PFC has been a very good run over the last 1 year. And I think if you look at valuations being specific to a particular sector, yes, the sector is growing. It's going to get a lot of benefit from the government's thrust in the renewable energy space or in the power space. But at the end of the day, it is all about interest margins and recoveries. So given that that constraint or that outlook, one should look at maybe booking profits in PFC. And the other one you had suggested was Krishna Diagnostics. I think that is a space that is looking good because the diagnostic space has been improving as far as the outlook is concerned. We've seen a good financial improvement in Krishna Diagnostics as well over the last couple of quarters. So one can look at holding on to this stock for the next 1 to 2 years.
All right, this one is coming in from Fred. He wants to know about mid to long term three stocks which he can look to enter fresh. Let me come to you, Hemant. Lloyd's Metal, Himadri Speciality and EMS Limited. Out of these three, which one do you think makes sense to enter right now for a little longer period time frame?
Lloyd's Metal looks to be the best of the lot, Cheryl. Especially in a staggered manner.
Okay, that's the word coming in there. The next query, Hemant, this one is also for you. We have this query that is coming in from Venkati, and they want to know on Lakshmi Organics. They're holding it at a price of around 390 rupees per share. They're holding it for the last 3 years, but now they're not making any profits on this one. So for Lakshmi Organics, should they continue to hold, look to exit, or maybe look to average out now?
Oh, Vinny, sorry, I don't track Lakshmi Organics.
All right, so that's about Lakshmi Organics. But on that note, we slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. When we come back, we'll speak to the management of Raymond. But after that, we will be continuing to take your queries. Viewers, so don't go anywhere.
इसलिए हारे तब भी रुकना नहीं है, जीते तब भी रुकना नहीं है। हर ओलंपिक्स में इनके साथ जुड़े हैं JSW, क्योंकि JSW की खुद से भी शर्त यही है, रुकना नहीं है।
Something should just be done remotely.
I couldn't agree more. It's called Adrenox, boss.
The XUV 700, fully loaded AX7 at a celebratory price of Rs 19.49 lakh.
Hey, careful, huh? My daddy got it from abroad. Disaster! How will you pay for the loss now?
In stock market, you should take risk as per your capacity and knowledge. Trade in options very carefully.
Wow, Dikra! Absolutely perfect. Take risk with full understanding.
टिप चाहिए पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ डूबेगा नहीं जलेगा भी नहीं कोई खा नहीं जाएगा और मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम रहो बेफिक्र
चलो देखते हैं दिशा सुपर क्यों है
क्या देख रहे हो मेरा पोर्टफोलियो पर मेरे पोर्टफोलियो पे सिर्फ मेरी नजर है
दिशा का एंजल वन सुपर ऐप बनाता है उसे सुपर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इन सिक्योरिटीज मार्केट आर सब्जेक्ट टू मार्केट रिस्क्स प्लीज रीड ऑल द रिलेटेड डॉक्यूमेंट्स केयरफुली बिफोर इन्वेस्टिंग
Presenting SBI Innovative Opportunities Fund. Meet the innovators who will power next gen India. Invest now. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risk. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. And a quick detour from your stock-related queries to the earnings of Raymond. They reported their numbers. Revenues have doubled. To talk about the outlook of the company, let's bring on board Amit Agarwal, Group CFO at Raymond right now. Mr. Agarwal, thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining in with us on ET Now. Let's talk about starting with the revenue as well as EBITDA. Both have seen a very good growth in Q1. EBITDA margins have come in at almost 16.2% versus 17.3%. But this margin pressure that you're seeing, what is the reason for this pressure on the margins this time?
The way we have seen the revenue growth, first of all, let me clarify that Raymond Limited, the numbers which have been reported is for the two segments of our business, which is the real estate and the engineering business. Because as you all know, that the lifestyle business has been demerged as on 30th of June, 2024. So now the numbers for that company is obviously not included in these numbers. And if you've seen the growth, significantly we have delivered both on the real estate business as well as in the engineering business. Now let me talk about the margins. Obviously the real estate business, as you continue to launch your projects, and since we are in a build-up phase of the real estate, what happens is when you launch a project, you need to spend the marketing. You need to talk about that project, bring about certain expenditure, which is a starting expenditure. However, as per the accounting norms, that needs to be debited directly into the period in which it is incurred. So over a period of time, over what we are not looking just one quarter, because we are building a sustainable long-term business where one quarter maybe you will see a dip, but on a sustainable basis, you will see a consistent anything between 22 to 25% EBITDA margin, which will be there in the real estate business. As far as the engineering business is concerned, you see what has happened is the engineering consumables business, which has been weaker, and because of the domestic market also, which is retail led, there was excessive heat as well as the impact of some bit on the elections, some of the holidays, that has impacted the first quarter engineering consumables number.
Right. Very good morning to you, Mr. Agarwal. This is Cheryl also joining in the conversation. And you had earlier told us about the listing of your lifestyle business in Q2 of this financial year. Any update on that? When can we expect the listing of the arm?
So first of all, let me tell you, it was not that we will list in quarter 2 FY25. What we had said was the lifestyle business, which is a demerged entity called Raymond Lifestyle Limited, will be listed in this quarter, which is in the second quarter of fiscal 25. However, what we have also announced in the month of July, that we have demerged our real estate business. And you know, the process which in India takes is anything between 14 to 16 months for completion of a demerger. So let's say around this time, or let's say in the next fiscal 26, we would have also the real estate company as a listed entity on a standalone basis in somewhere in the fiscal 26, maybe in the third quarter of fiscal 26. That's what we are expecting to happen. So first you'll have three operating companies. One, Raymond Limited, which will have engineering business as a subsidiary. Second, Raymond Lifestyle Limited, which will have the lifestyle business, which is getting listed, let's say, in the next 45 to 60 days. And then the third is the real estate company, which will be listed somewhere in the fiscal 26, maybe in the third quarter of fiscal 26.
Okay, so FY26, maybe sometime we could be expecting a separate listed entity. But what is the execution time for that 32,000 crore GDV which you have mentioned? And, can you break up for us how much of this would you have planned on doing via JDAs, JVs, and how much will be via new developments?
Very simple. As I mentioned, that 100-acre is a Thane land parcel. Of this 100-acre, you have 40-acre, which is almost translating to 4 million square feet, is being constructed right now as we speak, which has a potential of, which is going to deliver 9,000 odd crore revenues, and the balance 60 acres, which will deliver 7 million square feet, which will be developed over 7 to 8 year period. And I think that will give another 16 to 18,000 crores. So that is on the Thane land itself. Then on top of it, we have signed 4 JDAs, which is also translating somewhere 7,000 crores. First JDA project in Bandra, Nirmal Nagar, we have already launched, and we have got very, very good responses. We have sold more than 150 flats as we speak, out of a total 270 flats, which we have launched so far. We still have many more towers to launch. I think to that extent, we see that this 32,000 crores, which is as of now between the combination of JDAs as well as the Thane land, we should be able to execute 7-8 years. But we continue to get more and more traction on the JDAs. We are evaluating JDAs practically every day, and there are enough and more opportunities available to us, considering the kind of configuration product which we deliver to our customers. There is a huge sort of trust on our ability to deliver. I think we are one of the very few builders in the country who has been able to execute the project before the RERA timeline. And I think we are the ones who have delivered our first phase of project of 10x in Thane 2 years ahead of RERA timeline.
Right, Mr. Agarwal, let's ask the most important question that's actually on everyone's mind today. Wanted your views on the provision seen on the LTCG on real estate in the finance bill. Last evening, you got that amendment actually coming in from the finance ministry. How do you see this panning out for the demand for the real estate sector?
There is a real estate demand, and I think what we feel very good about is that in India, there is still a lot of first-time buyers. As people coming into their professional lives or the business or such things, there are young customers who come and buy homes. And home buying is an emotional decision. So therefore, what we feel is that having the tax, and yesterday, obviously, the FM gave a very good opportunity to the people to choose between either the old methodology or the new methodology, so people can calculate on themselves but that has never been a very big buying decision or buy a home or not buy a home only on that pretext. There was an important factor, but it was not a sole reason why somebody. And you see, what we cater to, our whole philosophy is to cater to the belly of the market, which is the typical 1 BHK, 2 BHK, 3 BHK, and a 4 BHK. And you see, our product starts from a 370 square feet to a 1400 square feet, which is between the 10x and address by GS. And only very few flats which we have made is of a 2400 square feet, which is moving up more like 7-8 crores. But that is very, very few inventory. So I think our...
Okay, Mr. Agarwal, thank you so much for joining in with us this morning on ET Now, talking to us about the company, the lifestyle business, when should we expect the listing, and on the real estate side. Thank you so much for joining in with us. But let's move on and keep it going with all your stock-related queries then. And this next query is from a long-term investor from Visakhapatnam, Lancelot. So we have Chokalingam, who's actually saying that can they purchase TVS Motors and IRFC currently at the current price for the long term?
So I think I would say that TVS Motors can be purchased from a long-term perspective because the company has come out with very good numbers. His results have been good and the margins are good. They are launching a couple of new models. They also are entering the EV space. Now, given that they have an existing network, and to leverage that existing network for EVs, I think would be a far better option as compared to people who are standalone EV companies. So I think they have a significant edge as far as being able to enter that market. So one should look at TVS Motors from the long-term perspective.
Moving on then, let's talk about this query coming from Jay Devappa, and he wants to know whether he can enter Poonawalla FinCorp at current price for a minimum investment period of about 3 years or so. Do you think now is the right time to go ahead and enter this stock, Hemant? Do you think the stock has reached an attractive value that one can look to buy for the longer period of time?
Shell is in a short, medium, and long-term down trend. Very strong support at 340. So I suggest he can buy half or one third at current levels and keep liquidity to add more at lower levels.
One query coming your way. This is Janvi from Bangalore who wants your advice if they can look to buy any of these stocks at the current level. One is Zen Technologies, other one is Mascot Dock and Solar Industries. Any of the names for the short to medium term that they can look to enter right now?
I think it would be a toss-up between Zen and Mascot Dock. So I would probably prefer Mascot Dock from a medium-term point of view.
Okay, this one is coming from Ram and he wants to know about latent view for the long-term Lancelot. He already has bought about 195 shares at a price of 667 rupees per share. And Ram wants to know that whether he should actually stay put with this for the longer term. What's your take?
Yes, he should stay put with this company for the longer term because the company is actually an expert their expertise lies in data analytics, and now they have entered the AI space as well. So it augurs well for the company on a long-term basis. In the short term, might look a little expensive, but if one is patient and holds on to this, you could see significant returns going forward.
Okay. Hemant, this next query is from Karthik from Chennai, and they want to know if they can buy Bharat Forge at the current levels for a short term, and what should the target be also?
Buy Bharat for the short term, but before the target, we need to identify the stop loss, which is 1500. Buy currently, keep a stop loss of 1500, target of 1660.
All right, Hemant, one more coming your way. This one is from Srinivasan writing to us from Chennai. It's a fairly recently listed counter, Tata Tech. I'm not sure if you track this one. 125 shares at a price of 1,155 rupees per share. Our viewer is in loss. Any advice that you have for this one?
Like you said, new listing, shell, paucity of data, lower tops, lower bottoms after listing, nothing much to look at. Oversold, valuations seem a bit expensive, downside limited.
Surely. The next query is from Krish and Lancelot. This one is for you on PG Electroplast. They are holding 300 shares of PG Electroplast at a price of 325. What is the view for the long term? Continue to hold this?
So actually, I don't track this company, so I don't have much information on it, so we can't really comment on it.
Do you have a view on PG Electroplast?
Regrets, even I don't track it.
Sure.
All right, let me take the next query. I'm sure both of you track this one very closely. It is L&T, 11 shares at a price of 3,723 rupees per share. Kavita from Kerala wants to know whether it's a hold or a sell. Let me actually come to you, Hemant, for this because L&T, it's off her buy price. Maybe that's one of the reasons why she's asking whether she should stay put with this one or no. What's your take coming in on L&T? Do you think it's a no-brainer? It's a stock to hold in a portfolio, or do you advise otherwise?
No, I'd go with what you said. Stock to hold, no-brainer. 7.5 months of doing nothing, but the bigger picture remains quite positive. That's not a worry.
Okay, Lancelot, query coming in from SS Raman from Chennai. They're holding 14,000 shares of paytm at a price of 485 rupees per share. So what should they be doing with this? Can they continue to hold this? Currently trading at 508. So what's the word?
So the fundamental, case for for investing or buying the stock is still very weak. While the payment business seems to have got a little bit of a lifeline, it's not clear about how the liabilities in the company are going to be addressed and what kind of haircut is going to be taken by various lenders. So since the capital restructuring is still not clear, I think one should look at exiting if you've made money since you bought it at 450 and it's presently trading above. It's more a short-term call because long-term it's very difficult to see unless a lot of these issues get resolved. Then you can see the long-term sustainability of this company.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Paytm. On that note, we slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. When we come back, more queries to take, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now. Let's continue taking your queries. Heyman, coming to you because this one is from Anju from UAE. You did speak about Poonawalla FinCorp as a fresh investment, but she has 500 shares at a price of 429. She is suffering a loss, as well as APL Apollo Tube. She has a price of around 1,585. Both the stocks, she's suffering a loss. What should she do?
It remains almost the same, Cheryl. Poonawalla downtrend on all time frames. Hold once again if your outlook is for a year or more. In fact, on decline you can add, but once again, 1 year or more. As far as APL Apollo Tubes has been sideways for a long time, doesn't look bad, but it's had a phenomenal run up. So once again, view for a year or more, hold.
Lancelot, we have Gautam from Mumbai who wants to know which one to buy, Nykaa or Zomato, which is a better bet right now for the medium to long term.
Both are expensive at this point in time because while Nykaa did come out with better results, valuations are stretched. But if one had to choose between the two, I'd probably go with Zomato because maybe there the visibility of earnings growth is far stronger than in Nykaa.
Heyman, coming to you, this one is from Vijay from Chennai. Wants to know about Equitas Small Finance Bank. Do you think it makes sense to accumulate right now for a period of 1 year?
I would suggest hold on a bit. Absolutely nothing technically to suggest an accumulation.
Heyman, one more query coming your way. Veni from Hyderabad wants to know in terms of PFC and REC, is it a good time to enter both these stocks for a time period of 1 year from now?
Yes and no. Yes, because it's a good time to enter for a year. No, because once again, I would suggest a staggered purchase. Phenomenal run up, wait for declines, markets are volatile, so buy it in installments.
Installments for both of these counters. Another one actually coming your way, Heyman, because we have Mika who's writing to us from UAE. She has 3 stocks, wants to know which one to enter right now and at what price. Zydus Life Sciences, Amara Raja Batteries, as well as NCC. Amara Raja and Exide, either of them. Which one do you think makes sense to go ahead and invest right now?
Well, frankly speaking, Cheryl, they all look interesting, all look positive. Ideally, I'd say split your capital between all the 3. But if you had to put or take one, NCC on declines.
Okay, on that note, 30 queries that we have taken right now, but we are going to start with the rapid fire format. And Lancelot, this one is coming in for you. We have Navendu Sharma from Patna who's holding 600 shares of Samvardhana Motherson at 80 rupees per share. What is the view on this one? Continue to hold this for the long term?
Yes, hold it.
All right, Rebecca from Kolkata has Sundar APJ as well as Orchid Hotels in her portfolio. She wants to know whether she should add some in her portfolio for a period of 2 years. Do you think these count as a good one to invest some more money into, Lancelot?
Yes, Orchid definitely you can look to add it.
Okay, Heyman, we have Mithilesh Kumar, who is a senior citizen holding shares of Sangam Limited at a price of 242 rupees per share. What is it that they should be doing with this one? Continue to hold.
Sorry, Heyman, we didn't get you.
Sorry, hold with the stop loss of 360.
All right, RVNL 154 is the buy price. Sushila wants to know hold or exit. What's your take, Heyman?
Hold.
Okay, this query is on Tejas Networks, Lancelot. 500 shares is what the viewer Jay is holding at a price of 1,350. For the long term, should they continue to hold or maybe look to average out a bit right now?
think hold is a good option.
All right, Jagannath from Bangalore wants to know about Bank of India. 135 is a buy price, 5,000 shares. Stay put or look to exit for a period of about 3 to 6 months. Heyman?
3 to 6 months exit, 1 year hold.
Heyman, is it a good time to enter EIH Hotel or eMudra right now at the current price? We have the query coming in from Ramamurthy from Bahrain.
Well, EIH is a correction of bull market, so I would suggest partially enter. eMudra is a relatively listing, not too much to go on, so I would prefer EIH.
All right, lastly, we have this one from Poonam Anand, wants to know about Ugrow Capital. The buy price is 271 rupees per share. What should she do or what's the strategy, Lancelot, here?
Like I said, it's better to cut losses and exit if possible at this price.
Okay, that was the last query for today. So thank you so much, Heyman, as well as Lancelot, for joining in with us this morning on ET Now and solving all our viewers' stock-related queries. But with that, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. So goodbye from Cheryl, myself, as well as the team who put this show together. Thanks so much for tuning in.